Well, good morning, everyone. Thomas Montgomery here. We get together with our distribution partners most weekday mornings, Mondays through Fridays at 8 o'clock Central. We are going to talk today more about the Credit Builder Loan. We introduced this as a new funding program that we launched yesterday. It falls under the access to capital. So to avoid confusion, this isn't a separate program, but it is a specific featured funding resource. So let me go ahead and make this a bit larger. So we introduced this yesterday and had a lot of responses. So we thought today we probably should dig into it a bit deeper. So here we go. Credit Builder Loan is funding for entrepreneurs with bad credit. It's specifically targeting clients that have a sub 600 credit score, but we'll get more to that in a moment. First, let's clarify the process, because some of the inquiries we had yesterday thought there was some different process, and there's not. So let's review the process, then we'll drill into the Credit Builder Loan, which is a cash disbursement loan, by the way. All right, so we have a simple process for enrolling into the Access to Capital program. Of course, there's no upfront cost, and we guarantee in writing a minimum of $100,000 capital raise. Those of you that are affiliates, you have your own link. Those of you that are white label partners, you have your own way of enrolling clients. So number one might vary depending upon which hat you're wearing. But from a general perspective, coming into our system directly, individuals would enroll on guaranteedfunding.org. What will happen typically promptly after a client enrolls on guaranteedfunding.org or on your affiliate version of that page is the participant, the client, whatever you want to call them, is going to receive 2 Adobe documents, and they'll be able to complete those online. They don't have to print them out and scan them, nothing like that. So one is a 1-page application. The application is divided into 2 halves. The top half is information about the business. All of that is optional information because maybe they haven't formed the business yet. Maybe they don't know their EIN or don't have an EIN and so forth. The bottom half is about the key person, the owner's information. So that's Adobe number 1 that they can complete simply, securely, comes back to us. We'll talk about that in a moment. And then we also send them a build your loan package PDF. It's a 2-pager. The first, well, we'll go backwards. The second page actually has detailed access to the financial literacy curriculum. There are 5 modules in total, the 27 mistake module, and then the 4 specific modules, module 1 on business plans, module 2 on building business credit, module 3 on financial reporting, module 4 on banking and money. It used to be that we dripped this out to participants over 28 days, over 4 weeks. Now they get access to it immediately. They don't have to go through it if they don't want to, but it's very helpful if they do. So that's page 2 of the Build Your Loan Package PDF. The first page has general instructions and the documents that we're looking to collect from them. So from that, what the participant will do is let us know that they're ready to submit the documents. That's specifically part of the instructions. And so once they've notified us, yep, they're ready to upload documents, then we're going to provide them a dedicated Dropbox folder. And with that dedicated Dropbox folder, then the participant, the client, will upload the documents. Now, on this list, there's a bunch of documents, but it clearly states, we've even highlighted it, it's not all or nothing. We're just asking for the client to provide what they do have. And then as stated in the instructions, then the client, the participant, will notify us that they've done so. Once they've done that, then we put them on the agenda for the funding committee. The funding committee normally meets twice per week, normally. With holidays, that can be askew, but normally Wednesday evenings and Saturday mornings. And so the funding committee is when we go through and review the file of the client to identify what are the right source or sources of capital based upon the client's mitigating circumstances, which is A here. And then if there's anything that's missing, anything that's needed, anything that would help strengthen their profile, then we provide them written recommendations, normally the day after the funding committee. So if they were presented at the Wednesday evening meeting, normally Thursday, they'll get response back in writing. If they were presented at the Saturday morning committee meeting, normally they'll get responses no later than the following Monday. So this process is the same. I know what we said we're going to talk about is the credit builder loan, but it was important for you to really be clear on how we get to that point. Oh, close that out. So let's say that the client goes through this and we identify that they're well suited for the credit builder loan. Now, again, there's many different types of funding, many types. I'll give one example. We have Corlins. Corlins is a client of ours, and she came into the system. We followed these steps, and she was approved for a $21,000 working capital loan for cash and $50,000 for equipment financing because she needed to buy a new vehicle for her business. Now, you might say, well, Tom, that's a problem. That doesn't add up to $100,000. Well, that's all that she qualified for now. $21,000 cash in business funding, $50,000 to buy the vehicle that she wanted. So it's a step in the right direction. So we have to understand that we have to work with the realistic parameters that some clients will have multiple tranches of funding, and the types of funding may vary based upon the uses of funds. All right, so with that being said, oh, here we go again. I keep hitting that X now. I'm sorry. So let's talk about the credit builder loan for those clients that are needing to strengthen their file. So the credit builder loan has some very attractive attributes. No. Will everyone qualify for, will everyone need the credit builder loan? No. But it is one arrow in the quiver that the funding committee could very well recommend for clients that this is a good fit for. So let's briefly go through this. It's very unusual. It is subsidized. Now, this is a cash disbursement loan. Cash disbursement loan. This is not a line of credit. This is not a trade line. This is not a net 30. This is not a credit card. So it's as advertised. But it's subsidized, which is great. It's a 0% loan. This one is specifically designed for bad credit business owners. So that's very attractive. The target audience literally are those individuals that might not qualify for traditional funding. We do have a very simple application, very rapid approval, fast funding. So check. So, this may in fact not meet the entire capital raise needs of a given client, but it could be an important part of that capital raise strategy. Again, going back to Corlins earlier. Corlins got $71,000 offered to her. Now, the truth is, she said no. She said, no, I don't want that $71,000. Okay. Now, it so happened after she and I talked yesterday, we're going back and we're going to go grab that $71,000 because she doesn't yet qualify for her ultimate goal. She thought that she could just wait it out and go get, I don't know, whatever it was, 500,000 or 700,000. So in her case, 71,000 is her next step, next tranche. We work with lots of different lenders. The lender that we use for the credit builder loan is incredibly credible. Over 42,000 loans dispersed. They track this in the whole economic development world, how many jobs created or sustained, and over $400 million lent. So this is real. It exists. It's available, and we've described the process. So the process isn't that someone signs up just for the credit builder loan, but instead clients enroll in the access to capital. If you're an affiliate, they're going to enroll on your link. If someone's coming to us direct, this is our website. If you're a white label partner, you may have a different way to sign up clients, but then this implementation process is the same. Timothy's asking about first tranche of financing, and thank you, Timothy, for asking. So I skipped over that accidentally. So on the one-page application that comes in that we mentioned earlier, the top half has information about the business, which is optional because maybe they have that information or maybe they're pre-formation and they don't. Bottom half is about the individual business owner, what we call the key person. So with that one-page application, we are committed to getting the client their first tranche, in other words, their first round of funding nearly immediately within just a few days. Everyone will get at least one offer for first tranche financing. Now, what they get can vary, right, based upon their circumstances. And so it may be a term loan, maybe a line of credit for their business. It could vary in what it is, but they'll always get at least a $2,500 financing offer. Thank you, Timothy, for asking about that. And then, of course, if you need assistance or support, these daily trainings are really oriented towards our distribution partners, but we post this up on YouTube. And so sometimes we just have prospective clients that see it. And so this is true for you as well. Looks like I misspelled guaranteed, though, didn't I? So sorry about that. Copied and pasted somehow wrong. What questions do any of you have regarding the credit builder loan, or more importantly, the access to capital program overall? Okay, Josiah, good to hear from you. Josiah's asking about how does this work for existing access to capital clients, and that's a great question. So we just need to make sure that we get those current clients on the committee agenda. So our goal is to flush through the system and get as many of these clients to committee before the end of the month, before the end of the year. Today, the recording live is December 16th. So we have 2 weeks left to try to take all these clients that are not funded fully, get them back into the committee and get them paired up. So what we need to do is, in short, get everyone on that agenda. So you can certainly email us if you feel like your file's ready to be presented to the funding committee. You can schedule a call with us. But what we need is the data set. And the data set would be those documents that we identify on the Build Your Loan package. But yes, certainly this is available to current clients, past clients, and obviously future clients. Thank you, Josiah, for that. But this is a new funding resource that we didn't have access to until yesterday. So you might say, well, what about clients that weren't offered this before? Well, it just became available yesterday. So the funding committee can't turn back time, but we can certainly resubmit any client. So if you have any clients that you think need to be reconsidered for the credit builder loan, or just they need more assistance, we want to make sure that we're helping you do that. All right, anyone else have any questions, comments, concerns? You'll just type it into the Q&A box. It's like a chat box of a chat function of Zoom, and we can answer those questions. Terry's asking about next week. So next week, yes, we plan on having morning Zoom calls Monday through Friday. I don't know that anything will change there. I'm not sure what our schedule will be that week between Christmas and New Year's. I don't know the answer to that yet. All right, so Francette's asking, and so she's asking a more advanced question. I don't want to confuse people, but we have our general access to capital program, and that's our bread and butter. No upfront cost, $100,000 guaranteed. But we also have a separate program that's called the SBA Express, and Francette is asking about that. And so I'll answer that question, but I just don't want to confuse others. So the SBA Express program is different. It doesn't have the same process. It doesn't have the same structure. But if you, Francette, and this is relevant, and it happens, I was talking to Frankie yesterday about this. So it could very well be that you have a client that's enrolled in the SBA Express, but as we get deeper into it, we realize that's not the right program for them, you can certainly pivot them over to access to capital program, which happens frequently, and then we could run them through the credit builder loan or other options. Because the SBA Express is very specific to one lender, one lending program, very, very laser focused, where what we call the access to capital is more of the umbrella of all types of funding. So yes, Francette, you certainly could pivot any of those clients over, and that is not uncommon. You're welcome, Francette. Okay, so questions about the landing page. So yesterday we had a training and we talked about how to get your landing page, but you can go to guaranteedfunding.org and fill that out. That plugs you into the capital raise process. And as you're going through those steps, it'll also ask, do you want to be an affiliate referral partner, it may say. And if so, then it'll ask you for your username that you want, you pick it, and your password, you pick it. And then once you submit that, the system will generate an email almost instantly back and send you your link, what we'll call your affiliate link. So your affiliate link will take your clients, your prospects to a landing page that looks just like guaranteedfunding.org. And as we covered on training recently, the input box is coded automatically to you. So it doesn't ask who referred them, because your link, your landing page is hard coded to you. And so some people get confused. Hey, it's not asking, but as long as you're using your code, it's coded to you. It's hard coded to you. So it's the perfect tracking system. So that's part one of two parts of the answer to the question. And then the second part of the question is, can the link be shortened? Well, that's the link that's generated by the system based upon the username that you ask for. What you certainly could do is get your own URL. Let's say, and I'm going to exaggerate, but just you could go get www.abc.com. I'm sure it's not available, but just theoretically. So you got the world's simplest URL address, abc.com. You go get it from GoDaddy or wherever. So then you could forward abc.com or whatever domain that you want to use to the link that we've provided. So when you're going out and marketing, you're marketing abc.com or whatever URL, it's forwarded over to your link and everything works. And so if you want a unique or shortened or customized URL for your affiliate relationship, that's what you would do. Go buy a URL from GoDaddy or wherever you want, whatever URL that you want to have, and then forward that to the link that we've provided. So that would allow you to market with a shorter link or a different link. Hopefully that made sense. You don't have to do that. Now, what a lot of us are doing is, we're doing marketing and it's based on click here. So there's a hyperlink. So they may not even see the drawn out alphanumeric URL. They're just clicking on click here. All right, Joe's asking about best practice. And so what we've seen is text. Especially if you can get a prospect on the phone, and we're off the topic a little bit, but it's a good one. So if you're on the phone with a prospect, I would text them right then your link. And of course, it wouldn't be guaranteed funding, it'd be your link, but it would be a link to the similar page. They receive that text. And then what we found is if you just go ahead and walk them through it on the phone, 95% of the people will sign up right then. So if you can get them on the phone, text them while you're on the phone and walk them through it. That same concept can apply even if you're not on the phone with them. If you're trying to communicate with your prospects and get them to enroll, you could email them and that's fine. But texting has proven to have a higher and quicker response rate. So I would strongly encourage, you could create just a real brief text. It could be, are you interested in $100,000 to start or grow a business? And then in that same text, include your link. And you might be surprised. A good number of people will click on it to go learn more. They go to your landing page. From your landing page, they can learn more through the brief video, through the description, and a good number of people will just click and complete and enroll. So getting the word out is what's crucial. The landing page carries forth the message, but you have to create awareness of the proposition, or people won't sign up. All right, any other questions? We try to keep Friday a little bit shorter than our normal 30-minute span. Are there any questions anyone has? So in summary, we've focused more today on the credit builder loan, just because we brought it up earlier this week and a lot of people inquired about it. So we've clarified that the process is the same. The credit builder loan is just one type of funding that falls under the umbrella of the Access to Capital program. So what we need to do is enroll people into the Access to Capital program. We talked about some of the highlights, some of the very impressive highlights. And yet, yes, this is a cash distribution loan. This is not a credit card. It's not a line of credit. It's not a trade line to go use at Dollar General. It's a cash disbursement loan, specifically designed for those individuals with low credit scores, simplified app, rapid approval, fast funding. Is it credible? Oh my gosh, absolutely. Over 42,000 loans dispersed, over $400 million lent. All right, well, I appreciate your time. Have a great day, great weekend, and we'll see you back bright and early on Monday morning. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.